You can make it play. The show's about to start. Y'all know how that is when you want to sit down. Your show about to start. Yeah. You want to eat with the show. He's sitting there like, touching the bowl like this. And then he put the bowl back like that. And then he touched the bowl again when I come back in.
I'm waiting for her to, I'm like, let me just go ahead and make I can't even make my plate.
Yo,
like
it was so sweet though. I'm saying all that to say, Gina, she's the funky dog. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to our channel. Thank you so much for joining us again. I'm your girl, Intisar Eleanor. This is my beautiful husband, Joseph.
Hey.
And we are back, and we're talking all things Married at First Sight. So first things first, let me slow down. I haven't talked to Joe all day. How you been feeling?
Good.
You feel good? You had a good day today?
Yeah, I had a real good day.
Good. I just wanted to check in with my husband, child. So we watched Married at First Sight and was bored to death.
Yeah.
To tears.
It was just a throwaway episode, and I just don't know why. Like, especially this close to the end. Like, I'm not used to them getting this close to the end and just throwing in like
I
this.
agree.
We're watching people play golf for like 20 minutes. And
complain about it each second.
I mean, and then climb up a tree, and then it's just like, this is fine that they're doing these activities,
right? But
we didn't need like more than 90% of the episode to be like them climbing trees and them playing golf, and it's just like, y'all can get them advertising dollars some other way, but y'all have to put some actual real content on the screen, and it just did not happen this episode. So this is going to be a short video.
Let's start from some good news. Eris and Jasmine. I feel like, first of all, Jasmine really killed it on that lumberjack thing. I thought that was really, really cool and really impressive. It was beautiful to see her just go up there and freaking kill it like that. So that was really, really dope. It was nice to see Eris come back, and he just is awkward. I think we're expecting this man who says he's like Rico Suave and all the women love him to actually be that. But the more I watch him, the more I realize he's a I don't want to say he's a weirdo, because I think we all got a little bit of that, but he's genuinely awkward.
You could well, I think we talked about this last season too. Like, there is definitely the aspect of people being uncomfortable on camera, which he visibly is, right? I think if we got him in a more relaxed setting, maybe without any cameras at all, I think he would be the cool guy that he kind of projects to be.
Yeah.
But I do notice how like awkward he comes off on camera.
I mean, super awkward.
Yeah.
It's awkward for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? However, it was nice to see in his way how he told his wife that he missed her.
Yeah.
It was nice to see that. I don't think it was enough. Like, I'm not going to give him any praise for real, because I think that, like, you're a man, just say what you mean and let's move on. You know what I mean? I think this is a lot harder. Not to say that she shouldn't have to do any work, because I think that's BS too. But I do think he could. Why is it so hard to say you miss your wife?
Because they don't know what to do with their hands.
I mean, at all. It's
so we talk so much. They talk so much on the show about Eris having jobs to do. He has to create this. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. Right. Just the same way that he, as a husband, he has to create a safe space for her. It goes vice versa. Right. He is walking on eggshells.
You think?
Absolutely. Like, he doesn't know what to do with his hands, because whenever you asked him, like they asked him, what do you want from her? He's like, I want her to communicate. I want her to talk more. That's basically him saying, I want to know where we are. Like, right. I want to know that I can put my hand on your leg. I want to know that I can get close to you. I want to know that I can kiss you. Real gentlemen want to know that you're cracking the door in order for them to walk into.
Yeah, because he's just being respectful of your space.
Right.
I guess so. But they sit down, all the couples sit down, and Jasmine talks about, all the things that he said the previous night and how it made her feel. And Nicole having to put in her 2 cents. Well, I mean,
all the time I'm over it. Nicole, shut up. Respectfully.
Shut up. At this point, it's disrespectfully.
Yeah, just shut up.
At this point, it's disrespectfully. I feel like, what does Nicole want from us? Like, I genuinely...
I think she wants to be viewed as a relationship expert.
But you can't possibly be a relationship expert and also suffer from mental illness.
Yes, and also... but in all...
That's not true. That's not true, though, y'all.
But, I mean, if you watch the show, you know exactly what she's talking about. But also be the most consistent self-sabotager in the entire cast in the entire season. You cannot be giving all of these people relationship advice, and all you do is self-sabotage your relationship.
The truth is that none of y'all can give relationship advice because y'all decided to get married on TV to a stranger.
That part.
I just feel like after this short period of time, y'all can't possibly think that y'all are the experts on... And I guess they kind of like want them all to kind of, lean on each other for support. But it's
Which is fine.
But I also find them both to be relatively disingenuous. Like, it's not even funny. Like, it's not even in a bad way, just in a way that's like, I don't believe it. I really don't. But back to Jasmine and Eris. I'm just glad that they kind of figured their thing out. I love the game that they played. They played The End. It's like a really good relationship game. I think we have it over there in our pile too. But very, very good. Really fun. We played it with our friends, Sharon and Eric, not so long ago. We were all like married couples getting together during the pandemic kind of thing. Not to say... You know what I mean? We were socially distancing or whatever. But we was getting together and playing games and stuff like that, and that was one of them. So I just think that it was really cool to see them kind of come together, but I just need them to be more affectionate. They have to be more affectionate. It can't be a big thing. Like, it's just got to be easy, and they're making it hard.
Yeah. I just think that they need to do a lot more one-on-one intimate time and a lot more conversating with each other and getting to know each other, really, to be honest, off camera. Because and this is another kind of theme of the episode where Clint was talking about, and what I'm sure we'll get to it, but like people being one way on camera and people being another way off camera. And so I think that they need a lot more of that, because it's evident that they don't really have the closeness that you need to get to decision day and say yes.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about Clint and Gina, since you already kind of segued there. Clint is not the problem, and Gina is a slime monster, but I've said that for the last 4 or 5 of these episodes. She is quite literally only here for her salon.
She's terrible.
The only time we see her show any emotion is when it has to do with her salon.
Which is also terrible.
Not to say that she doesn't have, like, being a salon owner isn't a huge job. You know what I mean? Because in theory it is. The truth of the matter is most of these people are contract workers. Like, you getting mad and you're in a business where people leave. Hairdressers leave all the time and go to new salons. I couldn't understand what the...
I don't want to... I can't... I don't want to...
You don't even want to talk about her.
I don't want to talk about the salon. I don't want to make her... People run businesses every day.
Literally.
I don't care. I do not care. I think that her behavior...
People don't run businesses. People manage people every day.
All of that stuff. People leave jobs. People get jobs every day. I think that her behavior... I don't want to bury the lead. Her behavior was abhorrent this whole episode. And it has been abhorrent this entire season. And because she does it with a smile on her face...
I know.
And I
think,
with
a specific tone.
Yes. And because she gets away with highway robbery in this season. For her to sit there, make the whole thing about her and her job once again while they're away. At a couple's retreat.
He's trying to get to know you.
Right.
But how gracious was he?
All the time.
I mean, the consummate husband, I understand. But what stood out to me, and this is a Clint Stan account. I do not care. Okay? And what's clear is that Clint is going to be Mr. Congeniality this year. He is literally the breakout star. Okay? We thought he was a sleeper. And then he turned around and been this beautiful flower. This man, quite literally, after she gives him absolutely nothing, He's like, you do so much to build these young women up. You know, you're out there, you're leading them, you're teaching them the tricks of the trade. He is up here pouring into this woman.
Being a husband.
A lot of y'all don't know how important that is. Like, I have had times, Joe, no, I just left a toxic work environment, and I used to cry. Like, I would leave meetings and be like, ah, like, you know what I mean? Like, hysterically cry. So it is so important to have a spouse who is just like, F them. You the one, you smart, you funny, you intelligent, you beautiful. You know what I mean? That means so much to somebody when they're going through something, and to see that just poured all over somebody, a slime monster.
And I want to give even more kudos to Clint, because it's easy to give that to somebody who gives it to you.
Oh!
Right? Like, my wife supports me over and above beyond what any husband could ask for. So when she needs support, it's so easy for me to do it. It feels so easy. It feels like I don't have to think twice about it.
That was sweet, baby.
I can't imagine if she giving me dust in her ass to kiss all the time.
Some days I give you dust in my ass to kiss.
No. But I can't imagine constantly getting a brick wall, constantly getting somebody who is emotionally unavailable, constantly getting somebody who is constantly, making
you feel bad. You don't look good. You don't sound good. You did this wrong. I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine.
Non-stop, she is doing that. She's shifting the blame, gaslighting,
but then trying to make him the problem to other people.
Always making her problem his problem when she's talking to other people. And then for him to be able to sit there and give her, that reassurance that she's a great boss. And it's just like, this is even more reason why you don't deserve him, and why her comment of no woman would want this husband is so asinine.
I just want Clint to let me match him.
I'm gonna tell you,
I'm a matchmaker for real, y'all.
Clint is not gonna have no problem.
He's not, and I cannot wait.
Because the one thing that I do appreciate, I do, because I tweeted this out. I think that there's a weird phenomenon going on the show where I feel like we've had a stream of horrible women come on the show and nobody hold them accountable. Alyssa, Mirla, now Gina. I do appreciate that the social media realm and the outside world and the viewership is absolutely not letting them slide.
But let me ask you this.
Gina will be on the show and she'll be on the after party and she'll say some idiotic BS, and Keisha Knight Pulliam will go, oh, okay, I can see that.
We're not even gonna get into Keisha.
But
you're correct. And you're correct.
At least in the comments and in the social media verse, I see people dragging her like, we're not falling for this. You're a terrible person. So I appreciate that.
Keisha is a host on this show, right? And not that I think that she does a terrible job, because I don't, but I do think she misses sometimes. Close. And I think that there are so many opportunities for her to go a little bit, just a tinge. And granted, she's being produced, so we got to understand that she as a producer too. But there are times where she could just go. She asked Clint something yesterday. What did she ask him? Something about
what Gina gives him versus
about being a husband. Do you feel like a husband? And he said, no. He said she doesn't do the things that would make you feel like you have a wife or anything like that. So no, I don't feel like I'm getting that treatment either.
She's a different person on camera than off camera.
And some way, somehow, Keisha shifts the conversation to this man needing to season his salmon.
But let's back up, because I want to really give the details of this.
Okay, because I might be.
That's how asinine this was. She asked him, because Gina sits in front of the some other cast members and says, I don't feel like, a wife. I feel like he doesn't have an attraction for me either, so he doesn't.
But it was all about him. She didn't say once
it's always
I'm
about
still
him.
not. She's not telling you how she actually feels, but just projecting what he.
It's always all about him. It's always all about him. So he doesn't have an attraction for me either, so he doesn't put any effort into to try to woo me. This is the things that she's saying, right? So they played a clip back. Keisha asked Clint, hey, well, how do you, what's good? Do you feel like a husband? How do you feel?
I thought that was good too.
And he said, no, I don't. Everything that Zar just said. And then he went on to say that I feel like she's a different person on camera and off camera. And they said, what do you mean like that? And he said, off camera, I don't get conversation. I don't get good energy. I don't get good vibes from her. It's basically, being with a wall,
right.
Pretty much. And then Eris pretty much seconded that and said, I don't think that Clint, needs to change. I don't think that Clint is really the problem. Basically,
but he said that
what he was saying. And then he said that he made an example. He said Clint will make dinner and tell her while she's out on the way home, tell her what has made and everything like that. And she will come home with takeout.
Let me tell you something. As the person who cooks in my Mimi Tent house, you want to see some smoke in the city? Go ahead and eat something I didn't make. Last night, this is a true story. Last night, Joe likes arugula, but we didn't feel like ordering out or whatever. And I just had I've been buying bag salads for my lunch. Something I can whip up in the middle of the day. But we had some leftover rotisserie chicken. So I kind of threw something together, right? And I don't know if you noticed that I noticed this, but I was just I'm going to let him live because I thought it was sweet what you were doing. He doesn't like the cabbagey, icebergy kind of lettuce, right? Is that something you can agree on? But that was the kind of lettuce in the bag. This literally happened last night. So, but we did have arugula. So every time I came in the kitchen, he kept touching the bowl with the cabbage in it because he didn't want me to know that he was going to use arugula.
Y'all, let me tell you something.
Because he didn't want me to snap, okay?
Let me tell you something.
Am I lying?
The Virgo, I don't know if it's the Virgo and Zar or not, but she doesn't even allow you to dress your food without criticism or critique.
Because I can cook.
She'll make something, and if I want to put hot sauce on it, if I want to put cheese on it, there's always going to be a comment about it. Bro, can I eat my... what is happening?
But I wish I would have saw him trying to not show me.
I'm literally to the point now where I wait for her to sit down so I can dress my food in peace. So I cannot be ashamed about it. Literally, I just will not. I'll just wait. Let her.
If he don't make my plate, usually I'll cook and then he'll make my plate for me. But this time, I'm in the kitchen. I'm taking my time or whatever the case may be. He's in here. I'm come on, you can make your plate. The show's about to start. Y'all know how that is when you want to sit down. Your show about to start. Yeah. You want to eat with the show. He's sitting there but the way he touching the bowl like this. And then he put the bowl back like that. And then he touched the bowl again when I come back in.
I'm waiting for her to... I'm let me just go ahead and make my... I can't even make my plate.
Yo, it was so sweet, though. I'm saying all that to say, I recognize what you were doing in the midst of... That's why I didn't say nothing about it, because I was he just want me to know that he appreciates that I cooked this.
Absolutely.
But he don't like this kind of salad, which I know you don't.
Yeah,
I just was using the bag or whatever. But that shit really tickled me. So I'm saying all that to say, Gina, she's the funky dog hit.
Period.
Because if I'm cooking in my house out of the love...
1,000%. And that's what I mean by I don't like that Gina gets up. Because imagine if the roles were reversed, y'all. And Gina sat up there on camera in the intimacy of an after party setting and said, I make dinner and I text Clint and then he comes home with Wendy's.
Oh.
Imagine what Keisha Knight would have said.
It would have been
they would have been dragging him all up and down the TV. I don't like that about what's going on with this. Because even Kirsten. Kirsten was on there and he's saying...
She kind of had a little battery in her back.
I just don't like that people will sit up there and hear these things and can second them. I
don't like that either.
And they'll just sit and listen
I don't like that either.
Clint is right. It makes Clint and some of these other guys look crazy.
Yeah.
Because they're
yeah, I don't like that either.
Clint cooked every day
of that
damn retreat. Every day. And then this woman sat up there and said, well, he got drunk on his birthday, so
who
nobody
would want to be with that?
Y'all, she's terrible.
Dog,
she's terrible. And I send her home. Y'all gotta let her go.
This man quite literally slayed. Well, I don't want to say the word, but he literally put in all that hard work to make sure that everybody ate and had a good time and all this stuff like that. And then you would turn around, and then kind of on his birthday.
On his birthday,
we're not even a gay. Any day he should be able to have that kind of fun. On his birthday, you would say something like that. That had to hurt his feelings.
But then
that had to hurt his feelings.
What was weak is y'all want to give all of this relationship advice like we was just talking about, but then she says some BS to y'all like,
and no
one says anything. She says some BS to y'all like, well, nobody will want a man like that.
You mean a man who cooks for everybody? He's nice. He literally sat up there and supported you every single, like, it's just like, girl, go on. So I really take issue with her. I really don't wish her the best of anything. I think that she is, but let me say this. I want to go back to something that you said, because I kind of want to unpack this a little bit. You said something about there has been a tide. We can't pretend like there hasn't been a tide shifting where the women are getting a little bit more toxic. Is it me?
No, I don't think it's you.
So I'm trying to figure out what it is. And you're not going to like this because, we play gender wars in this house a lot. I think a lot of these women are acting like men. I think that they've been treated a certain way, and now the roles are reversed, and they have the opportunity. The bully is now the bullied.
I think that excuses piss poor behavior. Like, Alyssa was a terrible person, and I think, but that's what I'm saying. I don't want to excuse this behavior. No, because you can, like we talked about, you can tell from the early on the casting episodes, their family members thought they were terrible people. Their signs were there.
You could tell.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by I don't want to take any credit away from terrible people being terrible people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll do that. So what do y'all think though? What do y'all think of the shift where now we're seeing more women with a little bit more of these toxic traits? Because I'm really curious about that.
I think casting is falling off. And I think that there isn't a shortage of quality men and women out there for the show. We're not talking about somebody finding...
I'm about to say, I would... somebody else would argue with that.
We're not talking about somebody finding a match in the world.
Yeah.
We're talking about you picking...
In a specific environment.
The specific environment, you're picking 4 couples or whatever it is. Y'all have thousands of applicants.
Yeah.
You can't find 4... quality people of each sex to be on this show. I think it's casting, and I think, I'm not gonna lie, but part of me feels like some of it is intentional infusion of drama into some of these shows. Like, we watch shows like Love is Blind and some other stuff, and we know this person has no business being on here. They were just put on here for the dramatic effect of it.
Literally.
And I feel like
I can almost tell.
I feel like Lifetime is doing the same thing. We had to talk in the car a while ago.
But we got friends who were on reality TV.
Right.
So that means something too, right? Like, so then you get to this space where having this kind of like opportunity to break the fourth wall, is that what it is?
Yes, I think.
You know what I mean? Once you have the opportunity to do that, you see how a lot of times not only is it overproduced, but people are being chosen for their antics.
1,000%. And I think that we talked a while ago about big businesses becoming franchises, growing, and then watering down their product. And I think that is what's happening here. Married at First Sight is obviously at the height, I think, of their exposure. Their ratings are probably at the highest they've ever been. The show's as big as it's ever been.
It's trending all the time.
All the time. And so I think that this is a part of that watering down the product. If
watering down the product means you need to introduce slime into the agenda, it's a problem for me. She's a slime monster. So I said something last week about chemistry and how, like, if you're waiting for chemistry to be the reason why you're going to be with somebody, a lot of y'all will be single, right? Clint is a really good... This situation with Clint and Gina is a very good example of that.
Yeah.
Of course, you may not like Clint at first. He could be, I think he could have a relatively abrasive personality, as equally as charismatic and charming as he is, right? But as you see this man blossom and really take care of the people around him, how could you not negate even being attracted to him? Just watching him interact and how other people show him affirmation. It's not one person who said they haven't liked him or whatever the case may be. And it's kind of like, even to know that he cooks for you, and because that means I cook because that's how I show love. Anybody who know me know, if I love you, I'm gonna make sure you eat. I feel like that's the least I can do. And I feel like that's how he feels. Like, this is me showing love. and you can't even translate that into something more tangible, it really says more about you than it does about him. And the way you sit up in front of other people and try to make him the problem is disgusting. It is disgusting. And quite frankly, I hate to make everything about race. It's really indicative of what women of that persuasion have been doing for a very long time to everybody. Oh, if I go into other groups and talk about this person negatively in front of everyone, then everyone will...
I'll get them on my side. It's a Karen move. Let's be honest. It's a Karen move to the...
It's really 100%. Giving that.
Yeah.
You're not going to get us to believe he cooked the entire time. You're trying to tell me all these people in the house, man, woman, or other, in the house, and nobody got up and said, don't worry about Clint, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah, that shows the
and
type
you
of heart
can't even
that
get him some ibuprofen and some Gatorade?
Yeah.
You funky dog head ass.
And it's funny because Kirsten and Gina are a good example of doing the exact opposite, right? When you talk about chemistry and being committed to the process, right? They did the exact opposite, right? They both came in not really feeling their spouses.
Yep.
But Kirsten was like, let me just be a part of the process, get to know him, see what happens.
Yeah.
Kirsten ended up really feeling the guy. Kirsten ended up...
I don't believe that either, though.
I think she has...
You don't feel like she's doing a bit... And I want to say this. I really like Kirsten. Something about her I really, really, really like. But you don't feel like she's doing a bit of a very slow 180? Now they got all these problems?
I think...
A week before decision day? Come on, y'all. Stop playing.
I think Kirsten has still made strides, especially compared to Gina, in terms of having any type of affinity for her spouse. I think that Kirsten actually has some type, we can talk about where the level of it is, but I think that you can tell that she has an actual affinity for her spouse, some type. You know, she wants attention from him. She wants him to do this. She wants him to do that. And I think in the beginning, she was almost in the same place as Gina. Like, you know.
But I almost feel like she moving the goalposts. I feel like they both.
But hold on, I'm not trying to get into Kirsten and Shaq yet. I was just trying to make the point that I was just trying to make the point that her and Gina came in with very similar dispositions towards their spouse. But Kirsten was at least a part of the process.
Yes.
And you could tell that her and Shaq, regardless of how much issues they have now, are way more far along than whatever Gina and Clint got going on. And I think that, to your point, Gina has an agenda where she was determined to not like Clint.
I just cannot believe this woman is constantly talking about the salon. Yo, I know a ton of salon owners. Hell, my brother is the barber in Philadelphia, okay? That motherfucker don't talk about that barbershop like that. And as a matter of fact, I've never even heard about him complaining. And he has had this barbershop for what? Maybe 15 years?
And this is
Get a life.
This is also
literally.
This is also hours of footage dwindled down into the 60 minutes that we see.
So all you got to talk about is this goddamn salon?
So that means she was talking about this salon a gazillion times.
That's a good point.
In order for it to make the cut that we see all the time. She had to be.
But I'm really annoyed with them because I wouldn't even let her have no screen time. If that's all you want to talk about, if you're not talking about this relationship, we don't need to hear you. Yeah. It ain't like you like this Bella the Ball. You're a slime monster. Yeah. And the problem I have with this is that it is so fascinating to see. I really can see, I'm one of those people, Joe know, I think everybody beautiful. I really, really do. I think everyone is beautiful in their own way. So I very rarely come into contact with people that I think, especially in our day-to-day, are ugly on the inside. Yeah, and that could be a testament to us and who we let in our circle or whatever. But ugly. And I don't even like that word. My mother would slap me in the mouth.
But it's true.
Ugly. So let's talk about Nicole and Chris. Tired. First of all, I think they are very disingenuous. I've been really, really thinking about this. And at first in the episode, Shaq said something that I thought was kind of shady and very much catty. He gonna say, oh, well, everybody trying to be like you in Nicole, that's what they want to hear. That's the problem. Y'all so busy trying to be like other people versus being like yourselves.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only issue I have with the process. It makes it competitive. When in truth, y'all should be teaching people that this is your marriage. You should be a horse with blinders on.
But you know what? I would say that I don't even know that the process itself is making it competitive more so than
they make it competitive.
The culture that we're in today.
You're right.
I feel like
you're right.
Everybody is doing the same thing like we talked about last week. I feel like people idolize couples they know nothing about.
Literally.
People they know nothing. They see it on Instagram. They see it on YouTube. They see it on whatever.
You know nothing about.
You know
then they turn around. He
bashed.
Right. You just said that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? They know nothing about these people. And it becomes this competition from a distance where now you're picking your spouse just so that they are aesthetically pleasing to the outside world.
And that's what I think. I was just talking to somebody about this. Like one of our friends. It was her birthday this week, and her and I were talking. They were asking me, like, are you happily married? Like, because people don't know people who are, and I don't know. I think that married people get together. Like, I'm a married person who, if you talking to me, I don't always have the best things to say about my spouse. Not because I'm in this terrible relationship, but if I'm being 100% honest, if you're not in a relationship, it makes me uncomfortable to talk about how good my relationship is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, she's an empath, so she feels bad.
I'm an empath, so I really do feel bad. So I think I always lead with people be like, oh my God, Joe is so great. Which, slow up. He's okay. But then, that's what I be doing. On the other hand, I be like, slow up. He's okay. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that, so part of me gets that aspect of it so I can understand how you could ask a question like that. But in truth, I was like, no, I'm very happy. I feel very sound and I feel very good. And I was just like, I feel like I'm myself. Like, I feel like I'm with my homie. We hanging out and we just do life together. We just, play footsies in the bed at night. I like it.
In truth, misery loves company.
And sometimes I be providing company.
Yes.
That's my truth. That's my truth. I'm a good girlfriend. I don't want you to feel a certain way. So I'm not always going to come out because I get the struggle. I also get the struggle. Yeah, because it might not be helpful for me to be like, girl, I'm in love and I'm doing it. It might not be helpful for me to be
I would say
that.
this. It is helpful because people really want to find a reason to get comfortable in their misery. And I've been around a lot of single friends. These are personal friends, so I ain't even talking about people in the comments.
Yeah.
I've been around.
Y'all are friends too, though.
Right. I've been around a lot of single friends who use the idea that nobody is happy as an excuse for them to stay.
Which is so weird.
I see it
because
all
in
the
any
time.
other aspect of life, you wouldn't do that.
I see. Right. I see it all the time. And so people try to literally break your relationship down to the level that their romantic life is on to make them feel better about the BS that they are doing.
Somebody else asked me, 2 people asked me this in the span of a week.
That's not, people want to feel better about it.
It is so weird. And then somebody asked me, like, do you ever think about, like, being intimate with someone else or whatever? They ain't asking like that. But that's what they asked. And I thought, it is sad that that's what marriage is reduced to. That y'all think, like, not y'all, but that people have these ideas of marriage. They're like, we're still human beings. We just do life together and we respect each other in the process. And I know that is far-fetched, but that's just the truth.
The sad part to me is that people love to play seeds for dissension. When people are not happy, their goal is, and even I'm talking about friends and family. I'm not
people
even,
do that all the time.
I'm not even talking about your arch enemy.
Yeah.
These will be your girlfriends, your guy friends, or whatever, who, because they are lonely and miserable. And we talking about the people who are lonely and miserable.
Joe was
not saying every single person.
Right.
But I'm saying the people who are lonely and miserable will literally try to lay seeds to the happy couples around them in order to say, you know what? I want company too. So if I've never found a happy relationship, there's no way that you found it.
Or you don't want to jump from bed to bed and be with 117,000 people.
Or
like,
you don't worry about your man cheating, or you don't It's all and these are never
that is always the question.
These are never questions or comments, at least in my life, from other happily married people.
Oh, never.
They're always single people or people who I know for a fact have been very bitter about their relationship lives. And this is why we talk about, to the people who have been with us consistently or been watching us consistently, this is why we talk about stuff like the love bubble and keeping your circle, because people love to lay these seeds. Miserable people love to lay these seeds. Hating motherfuckers ain't happy, and happy motherfuckers ain't hating. And that's just a fact of life. I never talk to my friends in relationships, my married friends, and ask them stuff like, you don't think about smashing this joint on Instagram? You don't. Ever. I never had those conversations.
Ever.
Never.
We trying to figure out how to stay married. Like, literally, I was just talking to my girlfriend today, and that's all we were trying to do. Like, girl, we're gonna hang in there and get still sharp and still. And that's why I'm like, sometimes you got to consider the source. You know what I mean? Like, and it just really is a mind-boggling to me how disingenuous Chris and Nicole are. Like, I couldn't even believe he said, like, yeah, everybody trying to be like you. But then he says, this was the catty part. I know we went on a tangent. The catty part was, but don't nobody know what happened behind closed doors. Dead. I said, first of all, shots fired. I didn't love that though, because if somebody said that to me, I would air them out. But I'm quick to air people out. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
What do that even mean? Like, you know what I mean? First of all, you're right. We don't know what happens behind closed doors because these are my goddamn doors. Imagine you supposed to know what the hell is going on in my house. How that sound?
Facts.
How that sound? Now what? Next question. That sounds so silly to me. Like, oh, we don't know what happens behind closed doors. Duh. Like,
just negativity.
Negativity
y'all really
for the
have,
sake.
But that's what I'm saying. Y'all really have to protect your energy. It's funny because she brought up an encounter with, one of her friends, and we had a talk this week about hanging out with somebody, and I just was like, I don't want to go. You know what I mean? And that's rare because I want to be attached to her hip and vice versa. Like, I want to bring her everywhere with me. And part of the reason why I said
I was really upset.
Part of the reason why I said what I said is because I don't even like that friend's energy. This friend, if you ask me, is also a miserable relationship person. So every time I'm around this person, it's like deflammatory comments about men and relationships and this, that, and the third. But this is what I mean by protect your circle and protect your energy, because I don't even like being around people like that. Like, I don't even be around people who are either happily single or happily married. Like, I can't do the deadbeat downer, the N-words ain't ass and I can't.
But I don't like that too.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You play and you joke, but that's not your a happily married woman. That's not your disposition. Especially when, we're out in the world and stuff like that. We go out with couples all the time. You know what I'm saying? We go out with our friend group all the time, and that's never the energy. Even from our single friends, that's never the energy. You know what I mean? And so I really implore people to protect their energy, protect, especially if you're in a happy relationship, protect it even more, because it seems like when you get to the point of a certain success, right? We think about it financially, but we never think about it romantically, right?
Yeah.
I was just watching the NFL draft, so it's an easy comp. When you get drafted, you're immediately a millionaire. So you immediately have to worry about the vultures. And everybody is telling you, worry about the vultures. But when people enter happy relationships and are consistently happy, we don't enough tell them, protect your space, you got to worry about those vultures the same way you got to worry about the vultures if you win the lottery. It's the same way. They're just not as obvious.
And some people just got a more, I think because you and I have been at this for a very long time, we like 20 years in, just about 20 years in, just at it, trying to figure things out. I think we have a better understanding of that.
Yeah.
And that's primarily because there was a time where people had access.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
You do not have access to me, my spouse and I in our relationship. Now I might tell you something, or I might drop.
Ask me.
You do not.
Outside of how is Zar doing? Don't even ask me.
But for real, I think it's a point of access, and I think you got to treat it like it's precious. You know what I mean? You wouldn't go out and throw a bag of money in the air. You
wouldn't have a baby, go somewhere and just hand a baby around the room.
You ain't walking around with your account balance on your chest.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's primarily because it's precious. It's yours. And I think that's how I feel about my relationship. Like, no, not that me and Joe have we're really at the point now where we really do respect and honor one another. So we do have tiffs, like, don't get me wrong, but not to the level that we used to.
No.
And I think that's primarily because we have a very good understanding of one another as human beings, separate and apart from us being a union. And I think that once you respect the person that you with, you already know I'm not navigating certain ways.
Yeah.
I'm not moving a certain way. I gotta get my shit together. You know what I mean? I think that's where we are. So I just encourage everybody to get there. But when I want to get back to Chris and Nicole being fake and phony, y'all don't even know where y'all going to live. Chris don't even want to move in with you. He got these dogs he care way more about than you. and you're trying to tell and give advice
to everybody.
Your man love the bitches that walk on all fours.
That's right.
Not you, okay? The bitches on all fours, that's who he's prioritizing, Pud.
The thing that really perturbed me this episode was them answering the questions. Can I go there?
Go ahead, Daddy.
You've ever been in a job interview and they asked you, what's the worst part about you? Or what do they say? What is your biggest...
What's your strength and weaknesses?
They say, what's your biggest weakness or stuff like that, right? You could work for McDonald's. They're going to ask you that dumb question,
That's
right?
Stupid ass question.
And everybody leads with I care too much. I work too hard. Everybody leads with that.
Y'all want to know what my weakness is when I answer this? The way I like to communicate is via Zoom and to be pinged. I find that sometimes organizations allow, employees to use email as the final way to communicate, where I have a more casual way of doing things. And I just if it's formal, we can go to email. But for the most part, I want you to get to know me. And by doing that, because a lot of what I do is with my, people who work for me or whatever the case may be, ping me. I want it to be a little bit more informal.
That's a real answer.
I'm not good at emailing.
That's a real answer. Now, 90% of people will get in there and say, I try too hard. Yeah. I work too hard.
The truth is I don't try enough.
They got up there and gave the most corporate BS answer. Oh, I just think you love too hard. It's just y'all cannot be more fake. And I'm tired of watching the fake stuff.
Fake.
Everybody has something about their spouse that they genuinely are annoyed by.
Oh, well, let's get
and that's okay. It's nothing, dear. It's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You can be real. If Zara asked me that question, I'm not going to be like, you love too hard. I'm going to say, you're messy. I'm going to say, your shit is all over the place. It makes me want to blow the house up. Okay? That's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to, because it's why be fake about, you know what I'm saying? And
so that's what you like about me the least?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If somebody asks you a question, be real about the question. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to denigrate the person to be real. Chris and
you just but then they all praising it. None of y'all
that was beautiful.
None of y'all thought that was fake.
Come on. This is not a job interview. This is not a job. That was weak to me. So I'm really tired of seeing the BS with Chris and Nicole, because y'all are on a race to crash and burn if y'all don't get real with each other. Chris, stop letting this woman bully you around.
Did you see him putting on
a goddamn dinosaur? You have to stop letting that happen. Because this is not the first time that she's done that.
It was with the flamingo shirts. But you know what the issue I have with this? When people try to create personality, some people just got it. Some people just got personality. And y'all don't.
Yeah.
That's okay. Y'all as a couple don't. Guess what? That's going to be our greatest strength. Because neither one of y'all got personality like that. At least not one that people want to be engaged with. You know what I mean? So it's lean into that. Lean into that. Don't be out here trying to make. But Chris knew that.
Yes. And then for her to go to Chris weeks ago, I said, I don't want you to be a pushover. Fast forward, put on this dinosaur and hop around the house.
Get pushed over. That's the only kind of man I want.
But you could tell, Chris he had the Matrix green coming down his face.
Oh.
Like, he was calculating like, is this a moment where I need to stand up for myself or do I not? He was really trying to figure it out. And it was, Zar gets secondhand embarrassment a lot.
Yeah.
I do way less than her. I felt it was tingly for me. Like, I was like, this is
It almost felt like he was being assaulted.
Yes.
In our faces.
And you could see him running the scenarios in his mind. Like, do I do this? Do I not do this?
But
and then
it was
everybody
else's reaction that made it even more cringy.
You have to stop bullying this guy.
Everybody was like, and I was like,
It's not you thinking that you can live the rest of your days with your representative as your front man. It's not realistic, y'all. It's never gonna happen. You're never gonna be. You can front like everything is perfect and but it's never gonna work. You know what I'm saying? The realest couples are the best couples. Period. And that's why people like us.
And people really like. I'm not even BSing y'all. A lot of y'all don't even understand. Me and Joe got the juice. Me and Joe be in a world, we be by ourselves, laughing, giggling, chopping it up. Somebody be like, y'all hungry? We be like,
literally, this has happened multiple times in different
They be like,
places.
go ahead, order what you want. Y'all look happy.
So we've had gay couples, straight couples.
Has this ever happened to you without me?
No, never. Not, I mean, my papa grave, never.
People literally come up to us like, y'all look like fun.
Let me sit with y'all. Like, okay.
Like, all the time. But you're right. We real with each other.
Yeah, you gotta be real here first. Like, you can't just be, because also, yes, it might get awkward sometimes. It might be tough conversation. We've had awkward and tough conversations in therapy. It happens. But otherwise, what's the point of doing it?
Right.
We're not gonna get anywhere if we don't really put our cards on the table and be vulnerable with each other. And I feel like that's the one downside for Chris and Nicole. Y'all are bound to drizzle if y'all do not be really honest with each other and actually say the things that you actually mean. Literally. And Chris, you could see Chris sitting on his tongue all the time. It's awkward. It's so awkward. Like, Chris, it's okay to be like, I don't want to do this.
And it's also okay to be like, we're just invested in the process. Right. And we believe that this works. It's not that him or I are doing anything extraordinary except for trusting the process.
Right.
Okay. So you already asked what you like least about me. But what is your favorite imperfection about me?
I love and I hate. Not hate. Hate is a strong word. I love and I'm also annoyed by how big your heart is for your friends and your family. You sucked your teeth, but I don't know why, because you know it annoys me. I do believe it is an imperfection. I believe that sometimes you, my cousin has an ex-husband, and he did a lot of things wrong, but the one thing he did right was when he dropped this nugget and he said, I can't remember verbatim what he said, but it was along the lines of, I can't give from an empty well. So I have to make sure that I have enough water in my well in order to feed the people around me. And I feel like you're the opposite of that. And I love that about you, because it just means that you have such a big heart, but it also annoys the F out of me, because I've seen you give until you've drained yourself to other people, your family, your friends. And I'd be like, just tell them, because no, you know what I mean? I be turned up, you know what I mean? But it just speaks to how big your heart is.
Okay. What do you think is the hardest thing for me right now?
To say no.
Okay. I got to go to therapy about that though, y'all. Like, it's deep seated. And this is a good one. I thought this was the best question, which I felt like Clint and Gina answered it incorrectly, but I'll blame it on the champagne. When do I hurt you?
99% of the time, you speak to me a certain way. The 1% that you don't hurts me.
Okay. I could be very curt.
Yes, and it's like it
But that's how
it
I
can ruin my day.
business
Like
that
you
way.
could be fine, everything could be fine. We could have a gorgeous day, and then she asked me a question, and I answer her, and then she'll say, and I'm like, "What's going? Like, what happened?" This happened last week, and I was literally like, "What the happened?" Long story, but it happened last week. And so that's the one time that I'd be like, I don't understand. Like we were just fine.
Well, you hurt me when you yell at me. Joe is a projector. Even though I'm trying to get into a space where I allow him to also express himself the way he needs to. Because sometimes you're just angry and you're just mad and you're just annoyed and you just need to yell. Me too. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to get better at understanding that. Like, he can't.
Yeah, because I could be yelling about something else and she would have a problem.
It's the truth. I'd be like, why are you yelling at me? He don't even have to be talking to me about me. He'd be talking about somebody else, and I'd be like, why are you yelling at me? It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. So I was just curious. I thought those were really good questions to ask. I thought there were better questions in that deck because there are better questions in that deck.
And I just thought that Chris and Nicole gave such fake and fraudulent answers.
Y'all don't like each other that much. And that sounds very negative. I'm pulling the shade.
No, it's just real. It's like we went to dinner with somebody and Zar asked the question, have you ever just met somebody you didn't like? And she said no. That's not real life. That's not real. It's not. I don't care how much you love. No one loves anybody more than I love this woman sitting next to me. No one. Right? Mary didn't love Joseph like I love into Zar Conner. There's no way you could ask me, does your wife ever know you? And I'm just like, no, she just loves too hard. Like, there's no way. I'm gonna give you.
I really do annoy this shit.
You know what I'm saying? So for you to sit up there next to a person who you don't know, you just met this person yesterday, and they say, well, tell them something, an annoyance, or tell them a critic, and you're like, I don't have one. I just want you to care for yourself more. It's like, y'all are full of BS.
You did kind of say that too.
No, I didn't. You asked. When I answered their question, my answer was mess.
Yeah,
right?
Very messy.
And then you asked me a 2-part question about, what was it? Annoyance, favorite annoyance.
Imperfection.
That's a 2-part question, right? That's a dynamic question. I was real, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be. I also don't have to couch it because I know that we love each other. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't have to. But also, just be real about it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way that you just met this person and you're gonna say, "Well, I don't really have anything to say about that." That's whack to me.
Yeah, like she don't snore or nothing. I don't know. I just am like, Kristen and Shaq, get it together. We're tired and we're bored with the back and forth. There's nothing wrong with either one of you, but the fact that Kristen is dropping like, I don't know if we're gonna stay together after decision day. To me. She pulling the wool over. Y'all better get hip.
Yeah.
Y'all better get hip.
A bit of foreshadowing.
It's she's doing a mild 180 on us.
Yeah.
She moving like I'm telling y'all, watch out. I love Shaq. I'm tired of him talking about his job. He's another one. Bored.
Yeah.
Bored. Oh, now she cares. She cares about what I'm doing in my educational endeavors. Get a... Don't even get me started. You know what the issue I have with this is that Shaq is actually more dynamic than that. He does
I can tell.
He does the bow ties.
I can tell he's a well-rounded person.
There are so many other things she could be focused on other than what you read in school. That's our Married at First Sight review. Bust in, let us know what you think. We hope to see y'all next week. Bye.
Peace.